What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joey Work from Rump Your Bets. I'm back. UFC is finally back, and you already know I got a UFC fighter with me. This week we got Justin Guitar Hero Jaynes. What's going on, Justin? Oh, looks like he's reconnecting here. 1 second. All right, there he is. What's up, Justin?
Hey, man, what's going on?
All right, so first off, I know it's been a long, hard road for you to finally reach your goal of fighting in the UFC. If I understand correctly, you had 47 amateur fights.
That is correct. I had 47 amateurs fights before turning professional in 2013. Yes. Midwest was wild, man. We could fight every weekend if we wanted to. It wasn't sanctioned, so you could fight every weekend. You could fight multiple times in a night. I've fought twice in one night before. It was crazy, man, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It gave me a lot of experience and a lot of great stories that I can tell the grandkids.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's go back to your first fight in the UFC. What a splash you made. Obviously, very impressive knockout, 41 seconds into round one versus Frank Camacho. I mean, what was going through your mind leading up to your first UFC fight first, and then, like, after the performance of the night, KO, what were your thoughts?
Honestly, I didn't really have a lot of time to comprehend what was going on. I got the call late Wednesday night. I had all my medicals to do Thursday all day. Then I weighed in at 9 a.m. Friday morning, and I fought Saturday, man. Everything just happened. The very first fight, everything just happened so fast. I couldn't grasp what was happening. My emotions were all over the place. I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm excited. Is it real? Is it not real? It was just a big clusterfuck of emotions. But I went in there, and the game plan was to hit him harder than he hit me. And fortunately, I landed first and ended a short night with that 50K bonus.
Yeah, there you go. I know it was short notice, as you mentioned. You got the call, I think, 3 days prior. So did that, like, affect your nerves, game plan at all?
No, not at all, man. And going back to that extensive amateur career I have, with the 47 fights, there were times, where I'd be going to a show to watch a friend compete. And, I show up and they're like, hey, we had a fight fall out. Is anybody weigh between 150 and 170 pounds? You got to want to jump in. And I'd take a big sip of my beer and hand goes up. Let's go. So, the short notice, I don't mind the short notice. All my fights in the UFC from a full camp status have been basically short notice. I fought Frank on 2 days. I fought Gavin. I cut down to featherweight in 3 weeks, from 178 to 145 in 3 weeks, made weight. My last fight, we were scheduled to fight, but then we both got COVID about the same time. And then when it got rescheduled, it was only 2 weeks out. So, I was scrambling for that, man. I live for this, man. I'm always ready to fight. I'm always in half-ass shape. This is my life. This is my dream. And I live for the short notice.
Yeah. I mean, as you're saying you live for this, I understand you moved away from your family a little while ago to live in Las Vegas and train. So obviously that's got to be hard. What was that like?
Yeah, man, that was a really tough decision. My son was really young when I decided to make this move. I graduated college in December of 2011, and John Hahn was the manager at Extreme Couture. He called, said they have a wrestling coach position open, offered me a position, and I told him, I remember the conversation well. I told him, hey, give me a couple days to think about it, and he gave me the ultimatum. He goes, no, you need to decide by today, and you need to be here by the end of the week, or I'm going to fill the position with Kyle Griffin, Tyson Griffin's brother, who's an incredible wrestler as well. So I went home, told my family what my goal is, what my dreams are. And, my family's not wanting to get in the way of my dreams. So they sent me off with good luck and good faith. And, here we are 10 years later, finally making the dream come true.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. Great to hear. So additionally, I know your father is battling cancer. He was in your corner last fight. What an awesome experience that must have been. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Man, I have a lot of regrets about my last fight, man, and that was one of them because I don't know when or if he's ever going to be able to watch me fight live again. Hopefully he can. I'd love to have him in my corner again. I'd love to redo, but I was in such good shape for that fight, and I was so mentally ready and I was physically ready. And, honestly, leading up, I had no nerves. I couldn't picture a way, how I could lose this fight, and after I was stunned, Mowgli hit me with that incredible body shot, man. That was a devastating body shot, and I folded over and the fight was over. the only thing, I was being kind of a little bitch. I wanted to get out of the cage. I wanted to get out of the eye of the public, man. I want to curl up into a little ball and be a little bitch, man. If I could go back, even with the loss the way it went, I should have let my dad enjoy that moment a little bit longer. I wish him and I would have got some pictures in the cage, and that's very emotional for me because, again, this fight was for him. He's been my supporter, through my middle school wrestling, my whole life. Basically, he's my dad, and unfortunately, I kind of was a little selfish in that moment, and I just wanted to get out of the public eye. And I just have a big regret of rushing out of the cage and not letting him enjoy the moment, even with a loss. Failures happen, wins and losses happen, and I know even though I lost, my dad was still proud of me. He's still proud to be there. And again, I can't reiterate, I just wish that I would have let him enjoy that moment a little bit more, of being in the cage, seeing Bruce Buffer, seeing Dana White, seeing Sean Shelby, and just enjoying it. So hopefully, if I fight back at the Apex, I'm going to try and put him back in my corner if I can make it happen. And win or lose, let him enjoy that moment a little longer.
That's great. All right, so I know you did just fight in early December, but I have seen you posting on social media about possible next opponents. Do you have a target return date to Octagon and basically a specific fighter you're looking to fight?
Yeah, man, I got a good little hit list going, and I have a backstory with all of them, So, it's hard. I don't like coming off a loss, let alone 2 losses, and try and start calling people out, because I'm not that kind of guy. I want to fight the best competition. I have been fighting the best competition. Frank Camacho, I think my fight was his 11th fight in the UFC. Gavin Tucker, I think he gets one more win, he's going to be in the rankings top 15. Mowgli Benitez, man, that guy, he's like 8-5 in the UFC's 13. I think it was his 13th or his 14th fight, man. So, I'm ready to take the step, and I'm ready to fight these tough guys. But right now, man, I see some up and coming guys like myself, Jordan Levitt. I don't think he holds a candle to me, man. He had that great highlight reel knockout, but I see a lot of holes in his game, man. And I know he's coming off a win and I'm coming off a loss, but I think I'd love to get in there and mix it up with him. I think it's an incredible matchup for me stylistically. Drakkar Klaus, he's coming off a loss, but, he has a couple more fights in the UFC. Him and I have some history back in high school wrestling. We wrestled against each other my senior year, his senior year, in the state finals, and he beat me by a stalling point, and that's not. It's. I don't know if you know how wrestling works.
Yeah, I wrestled growing up. Yep.
Oh, totally get it, man. Like, we're in the state finals, third period. I had like 5-5 or 6-6, and I get dinged for a stalling call for backing up. It's like, dude, let us fucking wrestle. So yeah. I'd love to, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Drakkar Klaus fan. I want him to win every single fight, except if it's against me. And Michigan made. He's from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. I support him. I think he's an incredible fighter, but he did ruin my high school dreams. So I'd love to give him a big knuckle sandwich. For doing that. Alex Caceres, there's him and I went back and forth on Twitter 5 or 6 years ago. And, he kind of put the nail in the coffin to where he said, when you get to the big show, let me know. And then, what do I say after that? Okay. Like, I can't talk any more shit after that. So, I'd like to punch him in the face for, publicly, burning the fuck out of me. Again, no, it's not personal, man. It's not personal. These are just guys that I think I matched up well against. And then, Austin Hubbard, I think that's a credible matchup. Tall, lengthy striker, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu. He beat Mike's teammate Max Raxkoff last year. I'd love to get in there and knock him out for that. And then last but not least, Luis Pena or Violent Bob Ross, I think, is another exciting matchup for the fans, man. These are all tough guys, and they're tough strikers. And that's what I want, man. I don't want any roly-poly matchups. I want good matchups. I want the fans to be excited about, as I've said in all my interviews, like I'm not in here to win. Honestly, if I'm looking back at the Benitez, I probably could have pressed a pace and maybe made it more of a wrestling match and maybe gassed him a little more. But, I'm fighting for $50,000. I want these bonuses, and, those are my top picks. I'm hoping that I can arrange some. It's people keep telling me to make a list of the people I want to fight, and I keep doing, but they don't give me what I want. Or I shouldn't say they don't. They haven't given me any names that I've asked for yet. But I'm just going to keep on trucking and keep asking, and eventually something's got to give, and I'm going to knock one of these kids out.
Awesome. All right, so last question before we get into the fights. This is a little fun one I've been asking each fighter that comes on, so I'm always interested to hear how they get their nickname. So how did Guitar Hero come about?
Drunk college, stupid shit, man. If you look at career, early on in my career, again, I was a high school wrestler. I was a college wrestler. I take guys down, I beat them up, and then I rear naked choke them, so, Darren Cruikshank, he fights for Rise now, UFC vet, was one of my college roommate, man. And he told me, man, your style is so fucking boring. Like, you just take guys down. You're not damaging, you're not blacking guys up, blacking eyes and shit like that, bloodying guys up. Because honestly, I just take them down, beat them up a little bit, and they give up their neck and I snatch it. So I was always looking for a gimmick to make people excited to see me. So every time that I fought, I would change my gimmick and I'd change my attire and I'd do a little show, like a little dance or something fucking stupid. So people were always wondering, like, what am I going to do next? So the Kattar Hero, Justin the Jedi, I was the Karate Kid. There's 5 or 6 of them. I'd always switch, and I was always trying to come up with new things, man. And it was a lot of fun. And sometimes I'd get the guitar in the cage, and I'd be strumming the guitar. After I knocked Dan Truex out in Grand Rapids, like they threw the car over, and I started dancing, and I have my stupid plastic guitar, and I'm strumming it like I'm playing the fucking song. It was stupid, but it was a lot of fun, man. And the last time I did that was like 2010. And I haven't been called the Guitar Hero or any of those names since. I turned pro in 2013. I remember thinking, like, all right, this is serious now. No more fucking kids games. I'm here for business. I'm here to kill people, knock people out. The next thing I know, June 20th, it was a surreal experience. Bruce Buffer is announcing. They asked, hey, do you have any nicknames? I said, no, I don't have any nicknames. They're like, all right, no problem. Send it off. And then Bruce, the Guitar Hero. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know it was going to happen. And it caught me way off guard. And, when I woke up the next day, the first thing I did was feel my head to make sure I still had, my stitches on my forehead. And when something like that happens, that's so surreal. I didn't believe it was real for a long, long time, man. It took me weeks to really comprehend, like, I'm here, I'm in the UFC. I am the Guitar Hero. The UFC called me the next day after my fight, and they said, we need you to keep that name. It's the most original name, one of the most original name. You're not trying to act tough like the Murderer or the Spartan or something tough. You're the fucking Guitar Hero, and fuck it, let's go.
That's an awesome little story. All right, so if it's all right with you, we'll get your thoughts on the main card for tomorrow's UFC Fight Night, Holloway versus Kattar. So first fight I'll do a little intro on the first fight, and then I'll just ask your thoughts. So first fight is Joaquin Buckley, Alessio Di Chirico. So obviously Buckley's made a name for himself after his viral knockout over Impa Kasanganay. He's on a 2-fight win streak in the UFC after his first loss to a talented Kevin Holland. He's a very good boxer, prefers to stand up and bang. His 12 professional wins, 9 are by knockout. For Alessio, he's fighting out of Italy, enters it on a 3-fight losing streak, all via decision losses. He fought guest of the show, Zach Cummins. He also fought Kevin Holland as well in that streak. Before that, he was 3-2 in the UFC before his debut in 2016. He's another guy that likes to stand and bang, preferably. I think his advantage would be to try to get it to ground. I'm not sure if he's going to go there. Out of his 12 wins, 9 are by finish, 5 by knockout, 4 by sub. He is the taller fighter, as we saw in the weigh-ins today. How do you see this fight going?
Buckley, being a Michigan guy and training over at Murcielago, a team that, I competed against a lot. But again, being from Michigan, we're a team from Michigan. I can't go against Buckley here. He's hot right now, man. He has the momentum going into this fight. We're talking about a guy that's has 2 highlight reel knockouts in a row. One is KO of the year, going against a guy that's 0-3, or 0-3 in his last 3. I think Buckley knocks him out within 2.
All right, I like it. All right, second fight in the main card is Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Jinglang Li. So Santiago finally gets back in the cage over a 2-year layoff. He was reeling at the time, enters this fight on a 7-fight win streak. He beat Court McGee, Zach Cummins, Gunnar Nelson, Mike Perry, and Neil Magny. He's another UFC vet. He was on the Ultimate Fighter Brazil Season 2 back in 2013. He's an impressive 27-3 overall record with 23 of the 27 wins by finish and 17 by knockout. Lee is a good boxer himself. He has some very underrated jiu-jitsu. He could look to leverage that in this fight. He is 9-4 in the UFC with 6 of the 9 by knockout. What do you think about this one?
This is a coin flip fight for me. We're talking about really high level striking here. You mentioned, how many finishes he had, 9-4 in the UFC. That's a solid record. And then with 17 finishes on the other side out of 26, or 17 knockouts on the other side out of 26 wins. This is a coin flip fight for me. I don't really see who or what has the advantage here. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys try to implement a wrestling game to get the hands to drop to knock out. It's a coin flip fight for me, man. Honestly, I can't choose a winner in this one.
All right, no doubt. All right, so co-main is now Carlos Condit, Matt Brown. Two UFC vets get in there, 36 and 40 years old, respectively. Both been fighting in the UFC for over 10 years apiece. Condit looked impressive last time out. He fought Court McGee. He won via unanimous decision. Previously, he was on a fight skid with his last win in 2015 over Thiago Alves. He would prefer to stand and bang and use some of his leg kicks to wear down Matt. As for the immortal Matt Brown, he enters the fight after losing to up-and-comer Miguel Baeza. He did look good in this fight. Don't get me wrong. He almost finished in the first round. Eventually, Miguel got the finish in round 2. Before that, he had consecutive stoppage wins over Ben Saunders and Diego Sanchez. So Matt's another guy who always moves forward, looks to stand and bang with you. He may look to take down Carlos Condit. Carlos has shown previous poor takedown defense, but we'll see. What do you think about this Condit-Brown matchup?
I think if Brown implements his game plan, I know he likes to stand and bang, but his grappling is world class right now. And, that's where I feel Condit struggles. A couple of years ago, I think in 2013, or maybe it was even 2011, Martin Kampman, a close friend of mine, fought Condit, and that was the game plan, was to get Condit down and beat him up. I think Matt Brown has the tools to do that. I can see Matt Brown grinding out a decision here. Co-main, it's going to be 3 rounds. I mean, he only has to win 2 of the 3 rounds, take him down, beat him up, hold him. And not to mention, he might give up his neck. And Brown has a very incredible and underrated grappling game, submission grappling game. I think if Brown takes him down and grinds on him, he's going to wear him out and he's going to win by decision.
Sweet. I like the pick. All right, so the main event, we got Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar. Obviously, Blessed Holloway entered this fight off a split decision loss to the champ, Alexander Volkanovski. Personally, I think he won the fight, but before that, his only loss since 2013 was to Dustin Poirier. He's beat everyone the UFC put in front of him, including my guy Frank Yeager, Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo twice, Anthony Pettis, Charles Oliveira, Jeremy Stevens, Cub Swanson. The list goes on. This guy has been a staple in the UFC since 2012. As for Mr. Kattar, he's off wins over Dan Ige, Jeremy Stevens. Before that, he lost to Zabig Magomed-Shapirov. He is 6-2 overall in the UFC, has finished 4 of the 6. This may be a decent step up in competition for Kattar. Additionally, his last fight out versus Dan Ige was his first 5-round fight. He did go the distance, and his cardio looked pretty well, so I'm not really worried about that. These two will likely stand and bang most of the fight and should be as entertaining as we're going to get. So what do you think about the main event?
This is an exciting fight for me. I'm a big Holloway fan. And then, Ige, Dan Ige, my teammate, fought Kattar, and I know how tough Dan is. And for Kattar on Ige like he did was so impressive to me, because Dan Ige is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has incredible wrestling. He has incredible cardio. He has very underrated striking. And you know what, man, Kattar just looked like a freaking animal. I think his boxing, his long levered boxing and his short uppercut shots and his hooks are just devastating. Holloway, here's the thing, man. It's, I'm getting away from the physical attributes and more of the mental game. Is Holloway, again, has lost 2 fights in a row to the champ. I believe both were split decision. Maybe one was, but I know one was for sure. He has all the accolades. He's been the champ. We're talking about Kattar, who doesn't have so many accolades, but wants to get them. He wants to. This is a huge step up in competition. I'm taking the upset. Kattar finishes him within 4.
All right. I like it. Well, thanks again, Justin, for taking some time out of your day. Come answer some questions, hang out with us. Is there anything you'd like to shout out? Can you let our followers know where they could find you?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at JAY09MI, Facebook, Justin Jaynes, Twitter, Justin Jaynes MMA. I just want to say I really appreciate you having me on. Sorry that I was a little late today. Just got held up with some stuff. And again, if you ever want to chop it up, you ever want to go over predictions, man, I'm all about it. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Hey, man, thanks again. Don't worry about being late. Are you kidding me? I appreciate your time. I mean, we'll be rooting for you in the future. That's for damn sure.
Yes, sir. Sounds good, man. Yeah, when I get something lined up, I'd love to chop it up if you want to talk about it again, how I feel about it, so on and so forth. So yeah, anytime, man. Just let me know.
Sweet. Yeah, let's do it. All right, buddy. Thanks again. How about that, man? Wow. What a cool ass guy. Justin Jaynes, man. Another awesome fighter. Even better person. What a cool ass dude. He's going through a lot, with his father. And, really appreciate him taking the time out of his day to come and just chop it up with a normal guy like me. So shout out and thanks to Justin Jaynes. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow we're live. the entire UFC event. Me and Keg will be live betting the whole fucking card, winning you guys money. Plus, there's NFL tomorrow too, so we got the whole team coming on later to watch and bet the NFL game. Sunday, more NFL. I mean, let's go. I have 3 official UFC plays on the Run Pure Bet spreadsheet. You have to be a subscriber to get them, so make sure to subscribe. You can use bets 25% off the first month, and you get all the plays. I also tweeted out in a previous YouTube video, I gave out 2 free plays on our Run Pure Bets YouTube channel. So if you didn't see those, make sure to check out that video. If you enter in 3 fighters that you like in the comment section, I'm raffling off a free bottle of Sauce Bay hot sauce. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe. Good luck with all your bets this weekend. I'm Joey Work. I'm out.